Alright, welcome everyone to DAOtown Demo Day, or DAOtown Demo Day. Alright, let me, Cynnx, gonna stand in front of you real quick here, sir. So, first off, let me just introduce this world a little bit. DAOtown is originally by Perchy, a crypto artist who does a really cool series called Bankless Locations, and I just fell in love with this piece at first sight, which is over there by that cliff, because it just represents so much of what it feels like to be on the frontiers, working in crypto and DAOs and NFTs and coordination tech. So we're out here, on the frontiers of cyberspace. We're building, require some grit to survive, and demo days are a platform, a chance for creators and builders to showcase what they're working on. We record everything for YouTube, and we basically AI transcribe it so that all of these can be turned into blog post outlines very quickly. And then those blog post outlines can turn into other forms of content if y'all wish. But it's a way for builders and makers to document things easier and showcase their work in progress projects. So if you've got a work in progress or a demo, an update, or something that you'd like to share what you're working on next time, let us know. It takes at least 3 to put together one of these events. And today is Saturday, November 11th, 2023. We're in HyperFi.io/DAOtown. And our first speaker is Cynnx, who is going to tell us about the VIPE platform and the latest updates to the VIPE ecosystem. VIPE standing for virtual persona. So welcome to the stage, Cynnx.
Hello, everybody. This is Cynnx, CEO at both VIPE and Polygonal Mind. I'm going to be talking about VIPE, standing for virtual persona. As you were saying, it's a digital identity platform that launched in June 2023, but it's the rebrand of a project that we started in 2020 called Crypto Avatars. So VIPE is basically a platform where the product at the center is game-ready avatars within NFTs, following a specific format for avatars called the VRM format. So every single NFT in our platform is a VRM. So we curate that to make sure that anybody that acquires anything in our platform or anybody that sees anything in our platform can make sure that what they're getting is an actual thing that they can use in so many different platforms and metaverses, B2B softwares, and so on. I want to cover today the things that we just released in the last couple of weeks, last month, last 2 months. Then I want to cover the things that we are releasing this year, so in the next 2 months, and then the things that we want to do for the next first quarter of 2024. So on the things that we just released, the biggest thing is the creators have. I'm not sure if I'm sharing my screen already, or yeah, you can see it. Okay. So the first thing is the creators have, the first iteration of it. We have put in here available for anybody a tool meant for artists that know how to make a 3D avatar, a VRM, but don't necessarily know how to code, or they simply don't need to. So what we have made in here is making it super easy for people to deploy their own contract collection, and then minting avatars inside that collection that they own, and that avatar being in the metadata of the NFT. This is supporting right now 4 blockchains. Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, and Optimism. And for now, it supports the 721 standard. And basically, it's a tool as it is, like particularly because it allows you to very easily no code put the PRM inside the metadata. Is kind of a new thing. We didn't see any tool that was making it as easy, even though there's many minting platforms that are super good already. There wasn't a specific one that was designed for PRM avatars. So that's one thing that we did. You have a couple of forms in here for minting your collection and then minting the avatar. And another thing that we are putting a lot of effort into is expanding knowledge base. We want to make sure that people have an easy way to understand how to use their avatars and where they can use it, because maybe the first step is realizing that you can have an avatar in an NFT, but maybe the second step is realizing all the different things that you can do with a BRM. So we're going to be putting a lot of focus in here and trying to make sure that people, whenever they acquire an avatar, or even before that, they have an easy way to understand all the different things that it unlocks. It unlocks content creation, it unlocks B2B, it unlocks gaming, and it also helps with getting into one of these platforms and representing yourself. Other than that, we released a collection for Halloween called Halloween Rising. It was in Optimism, so I believe it was the first Optimism collection with VRMs in it. Before that, I believe we did the first one in Polygon at the end of 2021, and the first one in Ethereum in September 2020. So we're always trying to make sure that all the chains have their BRM collection. We still have a couple blockchains that we want to cover. More things also for Halloween, not only the collection, but we released a demo of a mini game, a survivors kind of game, just to showcase what is possible with the SDKs that we have for Unity and Unreal to bring avatars into your games. And also we have a collection called VIPE Heroes, and we've been releasing new trades every week for quite a few months, and we're very close to launching the last ones. Actually, next week and the following one are the last releases of new trades for that collection. And the last thing is that we did a showcase of the pipe rooms the other day for the first time. The pipe rooms is basically a personal space for each pipe hero. Maybe it will be good to just deploy one in here. I'm not looking at Hyperfire right now, but yeah, there's a lot that we've been figuring out in there, and that we did a showcase just a couple of days ago. We showed a couple of the regular Pipe Heroes houses, and also we showed the legendaries ones, which are super cool. And we're basically just doing QA of everything to make sure that everything is distributed correctly and all that, and they'll be available for anybody to get very soon. So in the same place that you get your avatar file, you'll be able to grab the house as well. So it will be here in available resources along with the BRM and the different PNGs. You'll also have your room in here. Yeah, and whenever the collection mints out, we'll just push an update to put all the GLBs inside the metadata of the NFT. Okay. So
Awesome. So that was a great overview. I got the world in here as well, so if peeps want to check it out, it is right next to the stage on the right side. So that's the VIPE Hero home space that Cynnx just shared.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I, was showing. I was screen sharing for you as well, so we got all that.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any Q&A? We got a microphone stand right there. We have time for a couple, but I want to. We got 4 other presentations as well. So VIPE Heroes, Polygonal Mind, releasing a bunch of updates. I'm going to link to the blog as well in the chat. It is a wealth of knowledge. They are just absolutely crushing it in terms of documentation. Any questions for Cynnx? No? Is there a page with screenshots of the houses? Sith asks.
Yeah, well, something similar will be that there's a blog post when we announce it that you can see a few pictures of it, but actually you can go to hyperfi.io/Vipe rooms, and if you have a Vipe Hero, you can just open your backpack and click to it, and it will teleport you to where some of the houses are.
Sweet.
How big is the Polygonal Mind team?
So we're two teams. We're the Polygonal Mind team and the Vibe team. Everybody together is probably 70 to 80.
Thank you, Cynnx.
My name is Boomboxhead. I've been working on the blockchain with M3 for a while, and I'm just contributing to some open source, different ideas and scaffolding to help create an interoperable metaverse. And some things I want to show you today are about an overworld concept and a concept around D-work bounties. So if I switch over to my screen real quick, boom, that works. Over here. So what we got is like a basic static HTML template to where the idea is you've ever played a video game before, like Mario or any video game, you can travel around the metaverse in a cool way. So we have a network of a lot of people that work with M3 open source groups, and we had a website for a while, but we want to hook it up and kind of make an overview where it's there's a 2D Fox 3D kind of environment, right? So this is all open source, and I have a GitHub where you can fork this and reskin it. So if you have like say 10 worlds you made and you want to make like a 3D visualization of like the outside of the world, this is a fun way to get a above the fold like visualization of your overworld of your network. So in our case, we got the M3 TV soundstage, and these are going to be replaced soon by 3D models of an actual soundstage, in which we have like virtual production, and then HyperFi headquarters. There's the Twitter pages, and you get it. It's basically a link tree overall, but a 2D isometric style. And the way this was created is I used DALL-E to brainstorm the ideas, and if you use a keyword like isometric, everything will be in the right perspective so that you can make a map like this. But you can imagine if you change the map behind it and change these items, you can make your own version. In our case, we have this little thing's in the way, but we have this little widget. I'm calling it like the HUD, the M3 HUD, and the M3 HUD is going to be a little widget where we can link up our Discords and our badges and our membership and some of the leaderboards and tracking around some of the bounties. So what I mean by bounty is in M3, we work on many projects, so there's always things that need to be done between other projects. So there needs to be some kind of structure around how to discover bounties. So first of all, DWork is a website that you can post bounties to, and DAOs can put up bounties, and we have a couple different spaces. We have M3 and MetaFactory and a whole bunch of other DAOs. And long story short, when work needs to get done, put up bounties over here, and you can totally check that out. It's app.dwork.xyz. But I thought their interface looked great and everything, but I thought it'd be a little bit cooler to create like a visualization around the bounties and how to search them, how to filter them, and how to make them more relevant to what we're doing and who we're working on it. So it started off as this basic idea of where give me the top 5 bounties.
Yeah.
Like I want to know the highest paid bounties that are newest ones. So when you click on these, you go to the bounty, it takes you right to the bounty. And how it works is we can export a CSV of the data of the bounty, the name, the price, all that stuff. It can be exported, and then using something called a task action in GitHub, whenever you upload the CSV, it'll actually update the whole website, generate a brand new static website. And if you notice, there's a little contributor action user. Well, in GitHub Actions, there's a build and deployment action that every time you upload a CSV and there's new bounties, it'll actually upload the website, update the website, and give you the newest 5 bounties. So that was cool. But I'm like, well, what about, a little bit more, like, let's drill on, like what are the hot bounties? How much are the biggest bounties? So we're thinking of visualizing bounties across the digital economy and marketplace in different ways. So in this case, you can look at all of the bounties that are currently available, but some of them are to be determined, like they don't have a price yet, right? This is a bounty that has no price offer, but the green one, all the green ones are ones that have prices, right? Let's just pick one. I don't know. M3 TV show live demo. Hopefully it goes. But let's look at a couple other ones too. See, hopefully DWork server isn't. There we go. So it loads up right to the bounty, and long story short, there's comments and people are applying to the bounties, asking for more information. And this one was described as a show invitation where we're trying to make an invitation flyer for 100 USDC. It's a design specific, but you can apply to this. You can discuss. You can join into Discord. It's fully integrated, and the idea of Discord and DWork working together it's been useful for project management. So the bounty board is also open source. It's bounty board at my GM3 GitHub. If you just look up GM3, you can pull all this and fork it, maybe put in a pull request, make it better. But you can imagine how many ways we can visualize the metaverse and all the jobs available and creating a visualization for the economy around it, right? So using the HUD and some kind of link tree approach at the bottom, and then going and like creating meta bounty tools, I think we can actually, start to navigate and visualize stuff. Like it probably needs filters. There's a lot of updates, and I have a lot of issues in the thing. But the newest bounty. The idea between this one is the newest bounties would show up here. All the bounties are here, and then if I add some filters, we can actually drill deeper and make it more useful to the specific niche or the specific bounties or specific DAOs and all that stuff, So that's pretty much the breakdown of the Bounty Hunter scaffolding. It's a static website that runs on GitHub Actions. So this is all free. You can run this on a GitHub. So that's what's cool about it. So check out the bounties. We got a bunch of bounties that are available for M3 and a bunch of stuff. If you're trying to grind it out and make some stuff or learn, there's plenty of them. And we're trying to learn about this and look for more project management leads and people that understand documentation who can go ahead and not only find people to do the bounties, but organize projects and go through the, start to finish of project management on GitHub. So that's some of the breakdown of what we've been doing, and I think that's pretty much it. The overworld is a beginning point, so we're going to try to integrate bounties, the overworld, and make this more dynamic. So instead of just a link tree, maybe there's some bounties over here at Voxels, or maybe there's some bounties in Hyperfi, maybe there's some bounties over here. So the idea is, how do we connect this like dynamic data structure and automate some of the discovery of bounties in a way that's fun for the users, which if it's going to load fast, it doesn't have to always be 3D. It could be Fox 3D, 2D, 3D, and then once they jump into their specific 3D worlds, they can go to those 3D places. But that's pretty much what I got. If you guys got any questions.
This picture, this overworld, reminds me of DAOtown. You kind of see it on the other side of the stage. So I guess this could be like a dynamic overworld kind of view of DAOtown, right?
Yeah, of course. We just gotta reskin it, and the cool thing is it's responsive, and you can resize it, and it works pretty well. I mean, it probably needs some work for mobile, but overall on the desktop, it resizes and stuff like that. You just need to have a picture of all the different spots, so like a PNG of each building, and then overall map using the isometric point of view. You could render all these things out, and you can make a pretty cool isometric overworld. The
Awesome.
perspective is where it gets tricky, but that's the gist.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. So I'll Jen, you come on back up, and I'll head back to the side.
So, I'm here to talk about the memes and what the memes are. So, I'll start out with a little bit of background as to like what inspired this idea. So, there is a influential anon on crypto Twitter. Goes by the name Punk6529, and he, has some really interesting threads about NFTs. Extremely bullish on NFTs in the future, and wants to build an open metaverse. And I understand that I'm looking for common grounds with those types of people. So here you kind of see a Venn diagram of kind of our community and their community. We have a lot of skills in virtual production. We do a lot of XR, open source, and AI. They have a big team. They've got a lot of reach, and they've spent a lot of NFTs, and so do we. We love NFTs. So like where we meet in the middle is that we all love memes. We love CCO NFTs. We have a lot of conviction in this space, where we all support open source and want to spread the message of decentralization to the masses. And the memes is basically, about a collection of CCO art NFTs where the goal is to spread the message of decentralization in a way that tweet storms, policy papers, and podcasts cannot. And they're meant to be spread far and wide, remixed, rememed, and interpreted by the world at large. This collection, they do 3 drops a week, and usually they mint out. They have like an edition of size of 333. They have a sort of a phasing of airdrops, allow list, and public mints. And this one minted out to yesterday. They're usually all 0.06529 ETH each, which is like 20 ETH a drop. So pretty liquid collection, especially since we're in a bear market. And what I've done is I downloaded all of the memes to GitHub, and we've been making 3D versions and variations of it. And that's what the memes collection is all about, spreading the message of decentralization to an audience of 3D creators that are building experiences across the metaverse, because that's where I think we need to target. We need to target builders and makers who are actually making virtual world experiences. Like, what is the importance of decentralization? And so instead of like trying to criticize their approach, I want to show the composability factor of NFTs by taking their, the assets that they provide, CCO for free, and then building on top of them. They're providing a lot of really interesting ideas and textures. The thing is, they're mostly all 2D, and the M3 memes, they're all about 3D to bring the message into virtual world. So we set up this little scene here, and we've been doing a lot of animation type work as well. So all of the memes kind of feel like we're building out a digital backlot for our characters and a crossover universe where we can storytell in, create animations, and bring them into different platforms, and also value align with this other community that wants to collect CCO NFTs. We work on a lot of CCO type stuff. Here's a preview of what the M3 memes look like. We've got this one, which is Come and Take It, of like the ledger, but in different 3D model shapes, mugs, flags, shirts. We've got this truck from another collection that was originally 2D, and we brought it 3D. So really, I kind of see all this as like a mood board for us to bring into 3D. And the collection is live now. We minted this at 100 editions for 0.1 ETH each. And this is meant to be a kind of subscription one. So instead of having to mint all the other drops that we do, anyone who mints this season, the first one here in this collection, we're going to allow us to airdrop, save on gas, and just kind of have that, 3D file sent to your wallet inbox. And that's kind of based on the feedback I got from the community. And a cool thing about how we set this up is that this is all going into a multi-sig, a party DAO that we set up. So we launched the collection on Zora from our party DAO for the memes. So all the proceeds that we sell from this collection actually can all go to a multi-sig owned by M3 members that all contribute to the collection. So whereas the memes by 6529 is kind of via a traditional setup with a hierarchy and whatnot, we're doing something more crypto native and exercising sort of the DAO related aspects of crypto. So we want to join the fight and kind of add our voice to building the open metaverse. And instead of trying to fight them, why not join them? Align on what common ground we can find together, and spread the message of decentralization throughout our channels. So this is a way for us to kind of exercise metaverse interoperability through value alignment first and foremost, and have fun with it too. We all love memes. I save a lot of memes. And we have bounties for people creating memes as well. A bunch of people have created some really cool stuff. We got some exciting ones coming up soon. One that I really like is this trash war. So like, not only are we creating like 3D memes, they're not just going to be static objects. They'll be interactive ones. Like this trash war is going to be a vehicle that you can play around in Hyper 5, for instance. So we can also kind of onboard more of their community, in which they kind of usually hang out on Cyber and Discord only, to join our communities like HyperFi and VRChat and all these other platforms. So with that, let me know if anyone has any questions. We just launched literally 1 hour ago, so I'll drop the link in the chat if anyone wants to support.
I had a question about how do we collaborate? Like, what's the process for submitting an art piece?
You already did all the right things.
Okay.
It takes time sometimes to curate, and I also want to kind of get things optimized. So like, I'll give some feedback later on, but yeah, it's going to be through the Stework task for now. So if you want to remix a meme, jump into discussions, check out the subtasks here, and just go through the memes page. And if you have any ideas of sorts, suggest them, and we'll add it in.
Okay, hello, I'm A, or a virtual future usually. I've been involved in XR development for many years, and for me, VR is a medium to help people think and develop ideas together. Today I'm presenting work done on a Blender script for visualizing large quantities of money, specifically inspired in a diagram that circulates on the internet usually. Shin wanted to recreate that kind of thing and to make it dynamic, so that any given quantity of money can be represented in a performant way. So the challenge was to figure out a way to do this through Blender. and generate the output as an optimized GLTF model that can work anywhere. The idea in general was to start from like pallets of money and to get like some precise dimensions on everything so that it's an accurate representation. And the first task was to create like to figure out how does $100 million look like in real scale, and this is what you're looking at. To my left, there's the figure of a human body to represent the scale of the palette, and in front of you, there's $100 million in bills of 100. Behind you, there's the huge quantity of pallets represents $1 trillion in 100 bills. Anything past $1,000 is very abstract. Like people will make mistakes even with like how much money can you fit in a suitcase, for example. Like everyone will give you a different answer. Very rarely we see like large sums of money. The familiar element here is the pallet base, because everyone has seen a wooden pallet. The scale is absolutely familiar. Like if you've ever been to a Costco or something like that, there are pallets everywhere. There are some technical challenges for doing this project. Like for example, you can't just like do a for loop and spawn so many cubes, because like no, it's not going to perform well. It's going to destroy the performance of any place where you put this 3D model. So there's a GLTF extension that's for instancing, and the platforms that support such extension use a feature called instancing that reduces the number of draw calls dramatically. If you are drawing the same object many times, it will save a lot in performance. Fundamentally, this is both a showcase of the instancing extension in clearly useful use, and on the other hand, it's also a demonstration that if we can, that visualizations don't need to be pictures, which seems obvious, but they can be part of. They can be an interesting tool to convey the scale of economic events, which is usually lost in like a picture like the one I'm in front of. Like it's crazy in terms of how wild the scale of things is. You can just compress all the information in a single picture. You absolutely lose the scale of everything. Anyway, if people can join me, we can click here where it says click to teleport to tower. In front of you, there's a pallet with $100 million, and if you go near the edge, you can see down behind, front, $1 trillion in $100 bills. As you can see, it's quite a lot of money. Next to it, there's a typical plane, a typical commercial plane for scale, and the red thing far there is the same human you can see here, the same red human. I typically use the human to really give people scale of what they're looking at far away. I think that it's very useful to have this kind of visualization, not only as here it's like a novelty because I'm showing the results, but if you are explaining something like the budget of a government or the losses of a project or a market cap or something like that, it's way easier to convey how much money this is. And like it's not an abstract number. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. If everyone can join me, here's another visualization that's generated from Blender. You can visualize for a given day the price of each cryptocurrency, for example, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Tron, etc. So the goal of this kind of visualization is to see how many Big Macs, because like internationally there's something called the Big Mac Index, that it's a tool to compare buying power around the world. In the United States, a Big Mac is like $5.60, around that. So you can see how many Big Macs one Bitcoin is, and it's like a lot. You can see, and then for the currencies that are less than $5, you can see how many Big Macs is $100 of that currency. For example, 101 dice is that many burgers, or like you can see, like, I don't know what mantle is, but it's 285 for this many Big Macs.
Nice.
So in any case, the idea here is that using, like, this is also using the instancing extension for GLTF. The idea is that through procedural visualizations, we can like have more interesting or more grounded conversations about money, which is extremely abstract to talk about. Anyway,
We have one
that's-
question from Cynnx.
yes. Also, this is open source.
Cynnx asks, what does it mean when it says a coin X times?
That's how many you need for $100. Like, for example, the USDC, obviously you need 100 of them.
Yeah, this is spending $100 on Big Macs visualized.
Yes.
Any other questions for A? Awesome. Well, this is powerful. You
Yeah.
know, when it comes to DAO proposals, I personally think that visualizing a proposal, like what's in a treasury and how much you're asking, is powerful, and that we could export our governance tools to perhaps public goods type organizations like governments in the future, because it's so abstract to like talk about anything over $1 million for the average person. Can only take this with a grain of salt until we have the market cap information.
Yeah, this is used around the world for comparing buying power.
Right.
There's also
Purchasing power is all going down, so it's a great way to also understand and feel the impact of inflation.
market cap is a massive number in general. So money, the dollar palettes visualization is good for that kind versus this, because like it gets ridiculous. Like, I think that it's like a half of the trillion dollar stack in there.
Well, that's well. It's a good visualization. I look forward to more visualizations of the internet and the metaverse. I think you did an incredible job at pulling it together, man. That's cool. And that open source that we can modify this and make more visualizations is also really cool.
Yeah, it's also super performant.
Hell yeah!
Like, the whole thing is 2 draw calls.
2 draw calls for the whole thing. That's crazy. That's awesome. Thank you guys, man. Seriously, for coming out today. It was awesome. Like, jamming with you guys. You guys spend your time with us, and we appreciate it. I think that's all for people. If you got anything else to mention, we can roll it up. Anything else, Jin?
No, I think that was all good, man. Let's hit the outro, and don't forget to sign a guest book. There will be an airdrop later, and there's some merch right next to it. So if you're feeling generous and want to support M3 and future events, one of our VHSs, where in the future we'll be repackaging all of this into a collectible 3D NFT VHS box.
M3 love, let's go.
Let's go.